Have you ever used Koji before for note-taking? I gotta try it tonight. This seemed like an easy.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Welcome to the regular council meeting of the City of Madison Heights. The date is July 11th, 2016. The time is 7:31. Can we begin with a roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Bliss.
Here.
Councilman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Corbett.
Here.
Councilman Gettings.
Here.
Councilwoman Scott. Here. Councilman Soltis.
Here.
Mayor Hartwell.
Yes, I'm here. Tonight we'll have an invocation led by Councilman Robert Gettings and a pledge of allegiance. Would you please rise if you're able?
We thank God for having given us the opportunity to meet together here today, and we ask most humbly for a blessing of our gathering. Brighten our eyes with greater understanding, enrich our hearts with compassion and courage, and again receive our gratitude for this opportunity of fellowship. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. There are no presentations this evening, so let's see, are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we'll go to item A, business licenses. We have one applicant tonight from Active Outpatient Therapy, LLC, at 520 East 12 Mile. What's the wish of City Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Clark?
I'd make a motion to approve business license initial, Active Outpatient Therapy, LLC, a physical therapy office at 520 East 12 Mile, subject to compliance with all departmental and ordinance requirements.
Thank you, sir. Is there support?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett?
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Clark, seconded by Councilman Corbett, to approve business license A1 to Active Outpatient Therapy LLC, subject to compliance to all departmental and ordinance requirements. Is there discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. There are no business licenses, temporary, seasonal, or non-commercial. So going on, item B, public hearings, there are none. Next on the agenda, reports on the agenda of interest to parties in the audience. Anything on the agenda someone would like to be brought forward? Okay, we'll go to meeting open to the public. If you'd like to address City Council, please come up now. It's helpful, although not required, to give your name and address. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Thank you.
Okay. Chester Grabowski, residence at 26355 Wolverine Street. I would like to let you know that Lieutenant Mike Slasky, he does a very good job. He is quick. I am very impressed of how he works. He gives residents like me a peaceful place to live, and he gives criminals something to fear. I hope he's going to be with the Madison Heights Police Department right for a very long time. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. The meeting's open to the public. Would anyone else like to address City Council? Please come to the podium now. All right, we'll close meeting open to the public. Next on the agenda is item C, communications. We have, 3 communications tonight. We'll begin with C1, from Gospel Life Church, a request to use Rosie Park.
Gospel Life Church is requesting to use Rosie's Park for their community picnics on Wednesday, July 13th and July 20th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Staff and I recommend that council approve the event subject to compliance with council's policy on uniform insurance requirements for special events.
Thank you. What's the wish of City Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs. Scott?
move for council to Approve the event for the Gospel Life Church request to use Rosie's Park for their community picnic on Wednesday, July 13th and July 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. As long as they comply with council's policy on uniform insurance requirement for special events.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Gettings? Second. Thank you, Mr. Gettings. Motion made by Councilwoman Scott, seconded by Councilman Gettings, to approve the event request to use Rosie's Parks from Gospel Life Church for the dates of July 13th and July 22nd, so long as they comply with council's policy on uniform insurance requests for special events. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. We'll go on next to item C2. It's the resignation from Mr. Archie Hensley from the Multicultural Relations Advisory Board.
Yes, Your Honor. Staff and I recommend the council accept the resignation and declare the seat vacant.
Thank you. What's the wish of City Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Soltis.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the resignation from Mr. Archie Hensley from the Multicultural Relations Advisory Board.
Thank you. And declare the seat vacant?
Declares it vacant.
Great. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett?
Sir, I'll support.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Soltis, seconded by Councilman Corbett, to accept the resignation of Archie Hensley from the Multicultural Relations Advisory Board and declare the seat vacant. Is there any discussion on this matter? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item C3 is a resignation from Mr. Richard LePage from the Crime Commission. What's the wish of City Council?
Mr. Mayor? Sorry.
Mr. Corbett?
Well, I know what he was going to say anyway, so I would move to accept the resignation of Mr. LePage from the Crime Commission. I'm not sure that is the seat currently vacant?
Yes.
Okay, declare the seat vacant and issue the appropriate resolution of thanks, sir.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs. Scott?
second.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Corbett, seconded by Councilwoman Scott, to accept the resignation from the Crime Commission of Mr. Richard LePage, declare the seat vacant, and to issue the appropriate resolution of thanks. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. If I didn't say it, the motion carried on C1, the Gospel Life Church request. All right, next on the agenda is item D, reports. We have one tonight, D1, from the police chief regarding the 2016 medical marijuana operation grant.
The city currently has a police officer assigned to the Oakland County Narcotics Enforcement Team, or NET. The county has received a grant to investigate medical marijuana operations that allows for reimbursement of overtime for the officers who work these investigations. The county will reimburse the city up to $5,582.15 annually for qualifying task force or team-related overtime as described in the grant agreement. The department has been a part of this grant for the last 3 years and has received overtime reimbursement each year. This year, the county is requiring approval of the grant agreement through the adoption of the proposed resolution, which approves the agreement and authorizes the city manager and city clerk to sign on behalf of the city. Staff, the city attorney's office, and I recommend the council adopt this resolution.
Thank you, sir. What's the wish of City Council?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I move that we adopt the resolution which approves the agreement and authorize the city manager and city clerk to sign on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Soltis?
Second, please.
Thank you. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Bliss, seconded by Councilman Soltis, to move to adopt a resolution approving the 2016 medical marijuana operation grant agreement and to authorize the city manager and who else? The city clerk? And the city clerk to sign on the city's behalf. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Soltis?
Technical, is there a reason why marijuana is spelled with an H instead of a J?
I think that's just the way it's in the state statute. That's an interesting discrepancy.
Mr. Mayor, that's how it's spelled in the state law. So it's not a typo.
I wasn't sure. Thank you.
And as a matter of fact, when we had our staff meeting this week, the same issue
Came up.
came up from staff.
I knew there was a reason behind it.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this item? Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. Motion carries. On the agenda tonight, item E, items for future public hearings. There are none. Next is item F, bid awards and purchases. We have one, F1, from the police chief, replacement of 2 police interceptor utility vehicles.
The fiscal year 2017 adopted budget includes funding for the replacement of Police Department vehicles 112 and 138 through Proposal V in a total amount of $57,000. Police Vehicle 138 is currently a 2002 Chevy S10 pickup, which is proposed to be replaced with an administrative and undercover vehicle. In addition, the department has proposed to replace Vehicle 112, which is a 2011 Ford Crown Victoria, with a 2016 F-150 Special Services vehicle, and that reflects the trend to change our fleet to Ford Patrol Service sedans and Ford Police utility vehicles over the last few years. The department currently lacks a vehicle that can accommodate our Motor Carrier Enforcement Division, Bicycle Patrol officers, Youth Bureau, and our road supervisors, as well as be suitable for road patrol activities. The Ford SSV, or Special Services Vehicle F-150, would close these gaps in our current patrol fleet. Staff and I recommend the purchase of one administrative undercover vehicle in the amount of $25,192 and one 2016 F-150 Special Services vehicle in the amount of $31,654 from Signature Ford, both through the Macomb County Cooperative Purchasing Program for a total amount of $56,846. Funds are budgeted and available for these purchases.
Thank you. What's the wish of City Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett.
Sir, I'd be pleased to move that the council approve the purchase of a vehicle in the amount of $25,192. That would be the administrative. Well, I'm coming to that in a minute. Wherever I was, $25,192. And to go along with that, a 2016 F-150 Special Services vehicle in the amount of $31,654 from Signature Ford as part of the Macomb County Cooperative Purchasing Program. Total amount $56,384, and the funds are available and budgeted through Proposal V.
Thank you, sir.
What did I say, 846? Yeah. As printed, Your Honor.
Perfect. Is there a second to this item?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I'd be happy to support that highly detailed motion.
Well, it was clarified simply, thusly. The motion by Councilman Corbett, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Bliss, is to approve the recommendation of staff. Specifically for some dicta, which approves the purchase of a vehicle from Signature Ford in the amount of $25,192 for an admin vehicle and $31,654 for the Ford F-150 Special Services vehicle. Is there any discussion on this item?
Wouldn't think of it, Your Honor.
Any more discussion? I think we're good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. On the agenda, item G, ordinances, there are none. There's nothing for item H, unfinished business. So can I please have approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting of June 27?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Gettings?
so moved.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett?
Support.
Any discussion? The motion is to approve the minutes from June 27, 2016 as printed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next, we'll go on to appointments to boards and commissions. There is an applicant to the Crime Commission. It's a mayor's appointment, and the applicant is Mary Schultz, and I would appoint her to the partial term, which was just vacated by Mr. LePage. And so this partial term will expire in September 2016. I'd ask that council bring my appointment.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Corbett.
I move to confirm the mayor's nomination.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Ms. Scott?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Corbett, seconded by Councilwoman Scott, to confirm the mayor's appointment of Mary Schultz to the partial term on the Crime Commission expiring September 2016. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. There are no more mayor's appointments. Are there any appointments, nominations from council?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I move that we appoint Carol Prisby to the Library Advisory Board with a term that expires 7/1/2017.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Corbett? Thank you. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Sherman?
is the vacant term that's open, is that the term that expires July 1st, 2018? As opposed,
I only have 2017 in my packet.
Well, Your Honor, there has been a resignation since then that may be.
Mr. Mayor,
Prince?
the term expired July 1st, 2016, so this is, it expires 2018, this term that's being appointed.
Your Honor, I'll amend my motion.
Support agrees.
Okay, thank you. So I'll restate the motion. It's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Bliss, seconded by Councilman Corbett, to appoint Carol Prisby to a 2-year term on the Library Advisory Board with the term expiring July 1st, 2018. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Are there any other nominations? Okay, next on the agenda is I, executive session. There is none scheduled tonight. Before we adjourn, is there any other business before the City Council? Hearing none. Before I adjourn, I'll ask for closing comments from City Council. I'll begin with Councilman Bob Corbett.
Nothing this evening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Bliss.
Yes, Your Honor, this actually has the potential of being the shortest council meeting I've ever participated in, so I'm going to try not to jinx it, but I have one comment. I don't know if anybody at home has heard of the Pokemon Go game. It's literally blowing up all of social media. There are more daily users in this game than there are active Twitter users as of today. And what the game is it's augmented reality. And so the gameplay exists in the real world. And so as you're walking with your phone, and I came across several people playing just coming into City Hall tonight, as you are in the real world, you're able to play the game and collect these little Pokemon animal things. And what's nice about it is it's getting people out into the neighborhoods. It's getting people to see what landmarks exist in their communities, to frequent restaurants and stores, and most importantly to me, parks. And so what I'd like staff to look into the possibility of doing a kind of a one-day, maybe a 3-hour time slot where we sponsor a Pokemon Go day where we can highlight some of the parks that a lot of our residents may not even know exist. We've got some awesome parks that are hidden within neighborhoods, and a lot of people only go to the one either in their neighborhood or to Civic Center or Rosie's, and doing an event like this would help us to highlight all of the parks in our system, show them off, and do something that's new and modern and engaging with our community. I think that just the amount of users I saw using this when I walked in fact, our video productions guy in the closet over there was playing the game and walked up with it on his phone. And so I think that, and he's probably laughing right now as he's watching this, but I think that if we can bring people to our parks with that reason, we could teach some people to play it that may not know how to play it, and just have an inviting time. I just think it'd be a really fun idea, and I'd love staff to look into whether or not it's feasible, what we can do, how it could actually be operated, and then, report back. I think there's a Parks and Rec board meeting coming up, and so that might be an appropriate place to have some discussions on it.
Yes, Your Honor, just to interject really quickly, the Parks and Rec Board is scheduled to meet July 21st, assuming there's a quorum.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be great if we could look into that, see what the potential would be for doing a sponsored event. And I know we've got a lot of amazing groups in our city who could help staff and support that type of event on a volunteer basis. So I'd love to look into it, see what we can do. And frankly, I know Councilman Soltis is probably going to talk about his awesome food bank concept. That would be a great way for us to collect some of the items for that food bank, to be able to collect those donations, because we'd have everybody frequenting the parks. So it'd be a really, really great thing for the city. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Bob Gettings?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. To go along with what Mark said, I was with a couple young people going up north this weekend. I think my buddy's kid, I think she's 26, and her husband, and they were actually playing this game on the computer on the way up north, so it might have some merit. Nothing else, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. City Attorney Larry Sherman?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just one comment, I guess. I believe we have our banner supporting our fallen Dallas police officers in front of the podium here. And on the way over to the council meeting tonight, I heard on the radio that in Barrington County Circuit Court, somehow a prisoner got a hold of a gun and shot and killed 2 bailiffs before the prisoner was shot and killed. And it just speaks to just how the men and women who wear the badge and are serving the public, just how dangerous the job is. And anytime that there's senseless loss of life based on the facts and circumstances that we've heard about in Dallas, and in this case in Berrien County Circuit Court, it's very disturbing. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. City Manager Ben Myers?
Yes, Your Honor, just one piece of good news. Residents should be reading this in the paper shortly, but we were notified on July 7th that the city's public protection classification rating has improved from a Class 4 to a Class 3. And this rating is done by the Insurance Services Office, or ISO, and it basically reflects a comprehensive evaluation of our fire department, our emergency communications, and our water supply system. And what this number is, it's important for the community because it's used in determining underwriting for insurance companies across the nation. They use this information when they determine what businesses to insure, what coverages to offer, and fees to charge for personal as well as commercial property insurance. So I can tell you that of the over 48,000 communities that ISO has evaluated and classified, less than 9% receive the grade of 3 or better. And it also provides us with an important benchmark that we can use for planning for both our fire department and our Department of Public Services. So just one piece of good news to pass along. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. City Clerk Cheryl Prince?
Thank you. The August 2nd election is a primary election. I just want to remind our residents and voters that when you vote this ballot, that you have to vote either the Democratic or the Republican side of the ballot along with the proposals. If you've already voted absentee and you think you may have voted for both parties, just call our office and we will spoil the ballot we issued you and reissue you a new one. Again, the applications are available in the city clerk's office for absentee ballots. You can either call our office and we can send you an application, you can come in, or you can fill one out. You can download and fill one out online. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rich Clark?
A couple things, Mr. Mayor. I got a call from a resident today, and he noticed a young boy got his pant leg caught in the chain of his bike and fell down. Well, supposedly, his comrades laughed at him and just walked away. Well, there was a patrol car that stopped, helped the kid get his pants out of the chain, and even gave him a rag to wipe the grease off of his pants. Now, a lot of people may think that's a little thing, but just think of the respect that that young kid has now for the police department, especially this one officer. I don't know who the officer was, but that's kind of respect we need, and I'm just thankful we have police that do stop and do things like that. The only other thing, I probably got, I don't know how many emails about the fireworks. I mean, it's supposed to be the day before, the day of, the day after. Really, I would like to see it abolished altogether. I was outside, I had my camper opened up, and it has the canvas sides, and over the bunks is canvas. About every 10 minutes, I went outside and I hosed it down. There was debris from these fireworks in my backyard, my front yard. Even you feel like the hood of the car. It was like sandpaper from probably debris from the fireworks that fell down, and it's just ridiculous of what the state has done to the fireworks. I mean, we have it at City Park. They do a beautiful job. I would like to see it limited to that. Some of these people spend hundreds of dollars on these fireworks that they set off in the street. I seen one house set one off, and it was like a rocket. It shot off sideways, and it sent these people scurrying. I'll tell you, it was funny to watch it. But another thing is travel on I-75 on the weekend going north. Forget it. MDOT, they fell down completely on this one. A trip that usually takes me about an hour and a half to go from here to Saginaw took me over 3 hours. They narrowed the traffic down to one lane. There was no signs up saying which way to go, any detour signs at all. It was just a complete mess. And that's dependent on the MDOT. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Marjean Scott?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too received many emails about the fireworks, about the way it was disrupting everybody's lives, of the dogs and the children trying to sleep. And I know there's not much we can do now because of it being a state law, but I think it would be nice if perhaps we could give this problem to the MML and see if they could create maybe some kind of state attention to this, to revoke this, or at least make it easier on our people in the state, and which would then filter down to our residents. So I just think maybe we should be involving the MML to see if there's anything we can do legislative-wise. Unless you know of something, Mr.
No, Your Honor, I was just going to say we'd be happy to contact MML.
Okay, good. Also, I would like to mention that, ironically, our chief of police today, Corey Haynes, was attended a service, and I want to thank him for representing our city and our Oakland County for being there when they were honoring law enforcement at a service in Pontiac today. Ironically, it just was probably around the same time that the 2 bailiffs were probably murdered in Berrien County. So you know, we try and do our best, but all the time there's something going on. It seems like the more we try to enforce the importance of law enforcement, the less the people respect it. And I think it's really, I mean, I've been on Facebook this week, and I'm sure you've all seen many of the messages, the before and the after responses, and it's just, I just hate when I see that, people not respecting law enforcement. My daughter-in-law is married to a gentleman in law enforcement, and I know she always has this little fear that something could happen to him when he's in the line of duty, and I really hope that we think about our families in cases like this. I also have two sad announcements to make. First, I wanted to say my regrets, and I know the regrets of our city, for the passing of Wilfred Webb, who was a state representative and very active in the schools in Hazel Park, and a very kind politician throughout his whole life. He contributed so much to so many people, and he was very well loved. And he recently passed. And another individual that was a dear friend of mine, and I think most of us in Madison Heights will know her, is Nancy Brown, who passed away Saturday night. She was on a ventilator, and the ventilator was removed, and she passed shortly, a few minutes after that, with her family by her side. Nancy raised 4 children in Madison Heights. They all graduated from Lanphier. Her daughter, Cinda Avery, and her husband, Scott Avery, are always helping with our parade every year, and they, too, are raising their 4 children in Madison Heights. And ironically, one of the graduation parties for the children was held the day after she passed away. There will be recognition of her passing Tuesday at Swanson Funeral Home from 2:30 to 8, a visitation. There will be a funeral, a short funeral at the funeral home at Swanson's, 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and following she will be entombed in Roseland Park Cemetery. So I just wanted to say she was such an important lady to so many of us, especially the Intermediate Women's Club. She was a charter member of that and was made a lifetime honorary member just a couple years ago. And she had a significant role in not only bringing up her children and her family, but helping so many people in the community, and I will really miss her. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Dave Soltis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, I'd like to spend my time on one topic. I want to piggyback off of Councilwoman Scott. First of all, here, like everyone, I fully support our police department. I have all the confidence in the world in our chief, our deputy chief, and all the officers who perform one of the most, if not most, difficult jobs I can imagine. Considering all city services as serving necessary functions, without our courageous police force, communities would utterly fall apart, chaos would ensue. We are witnessing part of this firsthand in major cities across America because, I think, we are not supporting our officers enough, and that is coming from the top down. With that being said, my heartfelt sympathies and prayers go out to the Dallas police and their families and all the men and women who serve their cities, counties, and states with the utmost regard for safety and protection. What happened in Dallas was sickening and pathetic, the worst attack on police in recent history. Can you imagine working day-to-day grind as an officer, seeing the worst in people, getting blamed for everything, having your family fear and hope you come home each night, and then some idiot starts blasting and kills your friends and colleagues? How is it possible they just don't say, to hell with it, I'd rather do some easy job? I'll tell you, they don't, because it's a calling for them. They are protectors, brave and selfless. You see live-time internet in Dallas, how the loudest people criticizing the police were the first ones running the other direction, while police were running towards the gunfire. Unbelievable hypocrites. Do you think certain politically hungry prosecutors, attorney generals, or certain defense attorneys, local politicians, Twitters, protesters would do that? Of course not. Because they rely on the men and women who take an oath, protect and serve unconditionally. But these public officials will be the first to jump on the bandwagon to crucify the police. In my opinion, this deadly tragedy was not coincidental to the rioting going on throughout our country in the so-called name of justice. No justice, no peace is inflammatory and irresponsible, plain and simple. And in my opinion, it's completely reckless and negligent for public officials to feed into that lawlessness and then comment and pass judgment on criminal investigations without all the facts. They see a video and then they think they have all the answers. It's not how our process works, and our law enforcement process works. Make no mistake about it. In fact, I see more racial division in the last 8 years. In regards to one of the first incidents of police accusations before the facts came in, the U.S. Attorney General forced his way in and almost a year later concluded, quote, "The facts do not support the filing of criminal charges against Officer Darren Wilson in this case. Michael Brown's death, though tragic, did not involve prosecutable conduct on part of the Officer Wilson. To rush to judgment when it just happened, all the chaos of the publicity, the riots, the hands up slogans, destruction, now we see it ended up in a wrong initial foregone conclusion by so many. And in fact, spawned the organization that was involved in the Dallas protests and around the country based on erroneous pretenses. This seems to me to be a repeating problem, and again, it only adds fuel to the fire unnecessarily, puts all our police officers in harm's way over and over and over. You can see how so many incidents now, sick individuals are taking shots at our officers and innocent bystanders, sometimes because they're white. And what for? Absolutely nothing. So I say we take another look at this sign we have hanging here tonight and reflect on these brave men and women who make us safe. I'd like to make a request that we keep it in the lobby in the meantime. And the officers that would fall in, I'd like to read their names. Senior Corporal Lauren Ahrens, Police Officer Michael Kroll, Police Officer Brent Thompson, Police Officer Patrick Zapera, and Sergeant Michael Smith. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Very moving words. I concur with the sentiments of council. Is there any further business? Since there is none, this meeting is adjourned.
Mr. Mayor?